Hey, everybody, welcome to season 4, episode 1 of the Neutral Zone. Hey, listen, we took some time off, Stomps and I. We are excited to be back here, but as much as we're excited to have this show today, we're equally excited to have a real esteemed guest here. This is, like Stomps would say, the first time we've had a fellow Canadian, born in Montreal, from Ottawa now, living in the Chicago area. But we have today with us Gentlemen's Club superstar Sean Dennison, and also two-time back-to-back winner on the A team on the Wednesday night league. So welcome to the show, Sean.
Thank you, Nav. Thank you, Stomps. It's great to be with you guys.
It's great to have you, Stomps. Any opening words before I kind of talk about what we're going to discuss today?
I'm just floored by the tremendous Expos hat that Sean is
Thank you.
sporting.
Thank you. I was watching some previous episodes of TNZ, and I saw Jay's hat that Nav was wearing in a previous episode. So it inspired me to break out the Canuck headwear.
Hey, I heard they're coming back. I heard there's some talk about them coming back to Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I think there was some rumblings about, what was it, Tampa and Montreal were going to split games or something. It seemed like a bit of a harebrained scheme, and I don't think it ever got off the ground. I'd love to see that one day, though.
No, that's definitely a classic hat. Listen, guys, today I'm going to hand it over to Stomps momentarily to sort of kick off the show and talk through some of our topics. But before we get started, I just wanted to share with everybody, this is a great company. It's a sparkling water, Spindrift. The owners and the founders of the company are from Boston, Massachusetts. What I like about Spindrift, comparing it to like San Pellegrino and Perrier, is that it's actually got some really cool flavors: raspberry, lime, lemon, grapefruit, mango, orange. But the great thing about it is it actually has real squeezed fruit in it. So a lot of the sparkling waters, they don't have flavor, but this has real squeezed fruit in it.
I like how you've turned on the Italians, turned on San.
Hey, I'm always loyal to the Italians. Another thing I wanted to bring to your attention, everybody, I might have shared this on another episode. However, it's important to note that there's an incredible restaurant in Highwood, and I think it's on Green Bay Road. It's called, and Stomps, you're gonna correct me momentarily, but it's called Noon O Kebab. Okay. We just recently catered one of the events for my niece's wedding from there. And I got to tell you, the guy who owns it, Vahid, amazing service, high quality food, Persian food. I know, Sean, you like the Persian food yourself. So Nuno
Yeah.
in Highwood on Green Bay Road.
There's a Nuno kebab near us here on the north side as well. I think it's on Kedzie. Very, very good.
And you've been there. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Number of times.
All right, Nav, you've killed 10 of the 40 minutes.
Just hang on a sec. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to the most important thing. However, before we get started, I just want to say successful businesses thrive on competition. I'm not a big believer in monopoly because, being a Canadian and everything, we've seen how that works with the LCBO. We've seen how that works with the telecommunications industry, and then with the banking industry that's kind of run by like 4 or 5 major banks. It's not good for consumers, right? Would you agree, guys? Competition is great.
Absolutely.
So we have only touched the tip of the iceberg in terms of what Elon Musk can do. And I'm not going to go into current events, but I'm just going to tell you, with all the introduction of new electric cars, I'm going to tell you that all this is going to do is get Elon Musk even more on his game. And just so you know, there's a new Mars rival that's going to be coming after Elon Musk and compete with him to go to Mars. So I'll just tell you, he's going to be at Mars first. You heard it here first on season 4, episode 1 of the Neutral Zone. Look for bigger and better things from Elon Musk.
So we're going to mess up another planet?
Wow. All right, Stomps, take it away. We got Sean Dennison waiting in the works here to talk to us.
Well, I want to first ask Sean just to tell the audience a little bit about yourself. I mean, obviously, Nav got you there in the intro. Everybody would assume, okay, he's Canadian, he's got to love hockey. I think that goes without saying, but give us a little background, which teams you follow, or from a young lad up to today, and that kind of thing.
Sure.
What brought you to Chi-Town? Because you've been playing what over there in Palatine?
Maybe about
How
a
many
year and a
years now?
half. Yeah, a year and a half.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's it? Man, time.
It's been a pretty full year and a half though. I haven't missed many dates or Mondays or Wednesdays or weekend stuff. But yeah, so thanks for having me on, guys. Um, was born in Montreal as Nav said, and then grew up in Ottawa and played a lot of ball hockey there. Played a lot of ice hockey as well. I was a goalie on ice, so a little bit similar to the Jeremy Wargen story. One of our teammates. And but yeah, I played some pretty decent level ball hockey kind of when I was like 17, 18, 19. I remember one year we won provincials in Ontario. So that was a lot of fun. And then went off to school in Montreal and kind of left the ball hockey, deck hockey world, and really only came back to it a year and a half. So I think I was running the numbers. I think it was like 23 years I took off, or some like crazy number like that. And for about 16 of the years I was in New York City. And in New York City, very few people even have cars, let alone lugging around hockey equipment on the subway and stuff like that. So yeah, I just kind of got out of it. And then about a year and a half ago, Michelle, my fiance, just said one day as I was sitting on this couch here next to me, she said, "Hey, why don't you get back into playing ball hockey?" And kind of the fun story is, probably took me about 5 minutes to find Salt Creek Sports Center in Palatine.
Right.
Fired off an email, and about 2 minutes later, Lou Mangini emailed me back. He said, "Come on out tomorrow night." I did, and the rest is history.
Well, you got to hand it to Salt Creek. I guess they invested a lot in search engine optimization for you to be able to find it so quickly.
They really nailed the SEO on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in a timely fashion too. Got back to me quick.
So you're a Senators fan, right?
Yeah, so Senators fan. So 1992, the team returns, and fun story there is my dad had kind of created these kind of he went to like the arts and crafts store and he created these like season tickets that he put in our stocking, our Christmas stocking that year. So we had 4 season tickets for the first few years when they were playing at the Ottawa Civic Center, best known as the home of the Ottawa 67s of the OHL. So that was great, and have remained a Sens fan since.
Big changes in Ottawa recently, right? Got rid of their assistant GM, Trent Mann.
Yeah, lots of news with the new ownership group. So Michael Andlauer, who's based in Toronto, used to be a minority owner in the Habs, has bought the team from the Melnick family after the sad passing of Eugene Melnick. So team under new ownership, and we'll see what's happening. Pierre Dorion has had a good couple of years of developing the roster, lots of young talent, but we'll see what the new owner does.
So no Snoop Dogg in there.
No Snoop Dogg. There was some big names attached there, Ryan Reynolds and a few other Hollywood magnates in there. But yeah, I've been doing a little bit of research on Michael Andlauer. He sounds like a really interesting guy. I think he's
not related to Nick Kypreos, right? Because there was some talk about family.
No,
Nick
I don't think so. I think it's Andlauer's backstory is that, or his hockey backstory. He's actually like still an ice hockey goalie, kind of men's league, which is cool. But he used to own the Hamilton Bulldogs of the OHL, and it sounds like former NHLer Steve Staios is kind of his kind of right hand hockey guy. And there's been some buzz that Staios might get involved with the Sens. So we'll see what happens there.
Good stuff. Stomps, take it away.
Well, you've been a great addition, Sean, to the community of Palatine ball hockey. When I see you out there, I always think of the big shot from the left circle.
Well, thanks, Stomps. I appreciate that, man. It's been great. Yeah, it's been really kind of wonderful to I think it's as a kind of a middle-aged guy, it's sometimes hard to enter new communities of now friends, but it's been really fun. Just walked into the arena a year and a half ago, not knowing anybody. And one thing that was kind of fun is pretty quickly, maybe like a month or two into it, I just traveled with the guys right away to Pottstown to that tournament last year. So that was a good way to just kind of get to know some of the guys in a little bit more of a casual setting. And it's been great. Everybody's been really welcoming, and it's been fun to kind of meet this new community and to, what it's like on a hockey team, right? It's like when you get 23 people in society, there's the class clown, there's, the serious person, there's the superstar, there's the older person, there's the younger person, there's all these different characteristics. So it's been fun to meet the guys.
Well, we appreciate, you and I have had talks about this. We appreciate your optimism. I'm thinking that the more and more you get acclimated, I think you're going to see some more interesting characters, and I think that's a good thing to have you here. Hey, everybody, you're tuned into season 4, episode 1. We have Sean Dennison here, longtime listener, first time caller, right?
That's right. That's what we were talking about. That I should have led the show with that. The other thing that this is from Michelle, my fiance. I told her I was coming on the program. She's excited. She has one recommendation, which is she thinks that in future episodes, when the technology is available, that you get like the PTI, the scroll on the side that goes through the different topics. So that can be a future tech implementation of TNZ at one point.
Right. I'm just trying to get more than 40 minutes from Zoom. I'd love to have your name. I'd love to have your name on the screen. So we have, just a note to Stevie J. For several years we've been talking to you about helping us with multimedia and everything like that. So if you're ready to step up, it would be great to have your help.
Yeah, the Stevie J scroll, he might be able to implement it. Yeah.
But back to my man Stomps.
Well, in the interest of the time we have left, let's rattle through like some of the things that have been going on. So sticking with Palatine, we have Monday nights, GC won the championship. Of course, my snipers team won the President's Trophy and was not allowed to participate in the playoffs, but had fun playing with those young guys. Really, really talented kids and young men, and good people too. Really respectful, and we enjoyed playing with that team. But GC, both of you guys, were GC players.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on winning that championship?
Yeah, well, for me, the GC team was the first team to kind of open their arms and welcome me in. So I think that's always kind of been my foundation team. There's lots of different teams on different nights. By the way, I can see my elderly cat is coming this way, so she may be sitting next to me. You'll see Gord here in a sec. But yeah, so GC has always kind of been the base, which has been great. I'd say Frank Klein and Dan Bruner were a couple of the first guys to just welcome me into the community, and they've been great. And I've been traveling to a bunch of tournaments with those guys. So that's been fun. Nav, you've been on a couple of those teams. Come on up. And, I think on the Wednesday night front, the 4-team league that we've got going, led by the esteemed Billy Jacques, has been a lot of fun. And last night we were proud to become back-to-back champs. So that was a lot of fun. We've got a pretty, the team's pretty stacked with a front line of young superstars, and Eddie Urban, Josh Hamlin, and Jeremy Wargen, who kind of lead our group. And then we've got a couple of veterans that support when called upon. So that's been a lot of fun. Dave Wagner, I got to tell you, has been stellar in goal. And, this last couple of Wednesday night sessions, he's been terrific. And by the way, I'm really into the Wagner play-by-play on some of the NBHL games, which I've been reviewing the tape on. So shout out to Wags for all the time that he's putting into the community as well.
Yeah, I understand that there could be some copyright infringement on that. Is that correct?
I think, I did hear about that topic. It sounds like Wags has addressed it with the commissioners in New Jersey and gotten the full green light. And it seems he's kind of using that like fisheye lens from up top there in Palatine. So it's a nice vantage point as well. And then one other thing I was just going to mention, Stomps, you mentioned the snipers. I think if I'm looking at kind of the storylines that are coming out of Palatine out of the last, year and a half, I think the emergence of the snipers is a big one. I think it's the next generation of Chicagoland ball hockey stars is, kind of being led by Gabe Barrera and his brother Jacob and their dad. And it's been really cool to see, in different nights of the week, different leagues. And then their amazing run in Pottstown this year to the championship. Frank, Klein, Dan Bruner, and myself were honored to be asked to be kind of veteran backup fill-ins for that team in case of injury. So I was really honored to be asked to do that. But a couple guys on that squad that I'd call out. I'm a huge fan of Connor Whalen. I think his game is, really, really interesting. I think he plays with a ton of speed, edge, a lot of grit. I think he's just, I like seeing players that have just a little bit of like a je ne sais quoi, a little special sauce in their game. And Connor is that for me. And his brother Sean is excellent as well. And then, it's been really tough to see Gabe and Jake go down with injuries, but I've been telling Gabe since the day I met him, man, that kid is a special player to me. Jake's got lots of years to get up, but man, when Gabe's on his game, he's a real impact player. And, I think those are pretty rare.
I would agree with you. And so you kind of jumped into something we were going to talk about with the snipers, but we'll transition back over to you. But yeah, Gabe Barrera is out. I think in Pottstown he sustained that Achilles injury, and then Jake Barrera, I brought him with me to Toronto 3 weeks ago. He had a great showing. He played on Dynamo, the junior squad, and he played all the way up. They lost in the finals. Unfortunately, we lost him in the semifinals to I think it was a hamstring injury.
Hamstring, yeah.
Well, and Gabe was also going to be playing with us as well, but obviously he's in recovery. Since we're talking about injuries, real quick, just want to wish Sam Espinoza the best.
Yes.
He just had, I believe, Stomps a kidney transplant, right?
Yeah, and so he's at home recuperating, but he told me feels pretty good. It's just, obviously a little sore where they opened him up, but it wouldn't surprise me if we'd see him back sooner rather than later. But, he's got to rest up. Obviously, that's a very serious procedure he underwent. So,
absolutely.
Best wishes to Sam for sure.
And Brett Thunberg is back.
Oh, is he? Has he been playing?
Here's the funny thing. So he's playing with the black team on Mondays, and I'm like, that guy looks familiar. So it's been so long since he's played that he shoots righty, and for some reason I remembered him as a lefty shot. So I'm either losing my mind or who knows. But
yeah,
I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but he looks good out there. So that's good news too. So
that's cool. We could probably segue into Iowa shortly. Just wanted to let you know that Sam Espinoza will be in Iowa coaching the D4 team at the tournament. So that's going to be good. I look forward to seeing him there. Take it away, Stomps.
Yeah. So the snipers had to be dispersed for the new Monday session. So they've landed on different teams, and I found my way back to GC, which is I'm very happy with. But
it's great to have you back, Stomps, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of Palatine. Not a lot of time to talk about NBHL, and I really haven't been around for that. But my understanding is the Snipers are in the finals. I'm not sure if the Raiders Southside Rats has been settled yet.
It hasn't yet. Yeah, it hasn't yet. So it'll be settled on Saturday afternoon at noon. I'm unfortunately I've been playing for the Raiders this year, and I'm going to miss it. I've got a work event this weekend, so I'm pretty gutted about that. But I'm hoping that the Raiders team can pull it through. We won the first game 6-3, And then the Rats won the second game 2-1 in overtime on a beautiful Eddie Urban slap shot. So it should be a good rubber match to see who plays the Snipers in the final.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Just a real quick around the circuit, if you will. So Glencoe is in a pause right now before another session starts late summer as we go into the fall. But we had a session spring, early summer. I thought it went really well. I mean, the place is still in the middle of undergoing renovations, but Scully has the operation going well there, and I don't want him to cry, so I'll say congrats to Dave Schmiel and his North Stars team for winning D4, and they were runners up in D2. So that team and Dave did a really nice job. Had a good session myself with the Bearcats. We had certainly a good regular season, not a good playoff, but turning our attention just quickly to Woodridge. So that's been, going as it normally does. What's been nice is, even though we've been having some trouble on the second game, just getting enough goalies and stuff like that, but it seems like a lot of the young, once again, the Sniper guys are showing up for second game at Woodridge, which makes for some fun hockey. But the veterans, by and large, are playing the first game, as you well know, Nav. So that's been going well. But Iowa's coming up one of the 3 weeks, I believe. And I think the word is spread on Iowa. I mean, I think everybody's so enthusiastic, loves to go out there. I call it the Woodstock of ball hockey. Everybody's just hanging out under their tents with their grills and their coolers, and it's really a fun time. And so I don't know the exact number. Maybe Nav or Sean, but Chicago area is going to be really well represented. I mean, Snipers, I heard, have 5 teams. GC's got a team, right?
Yep, we've got a team.
I'm on the Bearcats. You got the Toros and their unfinished business. And then there's other teams. I mean, there's the Knights, and I know I'm going to be forgetting somebody. Is Team Chicago going to be there?
I don't know if they're going to be there. I think Frank has put together a GC team. I think it's 9 of us. So excited for that. I had a great time in Iowa last year. Had a blast. Like you said, stomps the tents and the music, and so it was great. And we got an Airbnb this year. It's myself, Lou Mangini, Danny Bruner, and Eddie Switek. So we've got a great group in the house. A lot of folks at the nearby Marriott Hotel. So it'll be a blast, similar to last year.
Should do like a reality show following you around in that house. But
there's also Stomps. I think there's a Stingrays will be there too.
Yeah, yes. I think that's right. That's right.
Stingrays. So that's.
But I know we're missing somebody that I'm not. This team name that I'm not thinking of right now. But
Sean, what I'm most excited about in terms of Iowa is seeing the A division. Is it A or is it first
D1.
division? Yeah, D1, the D1 division. That's always a treat to watch. And John Scully and his Deckheads team, and a couple of the teams that come down from Canada. It was amazing to watch last year. I mean, the 3-on-3 versus 5-on-5, different strategies and different approach to the game, but it's just at such a high level. These guys, when they have a little hole to hit in terms of these smaller nets, and they're picking corners left and right. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and then you got goalies in there with full equipment and a smaller net, so you would think
it's hard.
But these guys,
you got to get them moving laterally. You got to get those kind of cross ice passes going.
Yeah, it's really high level play, and the atmosphere there is great, and the game's under the lights when you get at night. And So let's just hope, guys, for, that the weather
Yeah.
cooperates. That's always a factor. And then we'll definitely all have a great time there for sure.
Do you in the past years, Stubbs? I think you've been there for 2 years now. It's going your
Yeah.
third.
Yeah, this will be my
Do the Chicago teams typically start on Friday? Because I think the tournament goes for a couple of days
Well-
just before that, right?
Well, that's true. The tournament starts so it would be, I believe it's Wednesday, August 9th,
I think that's right.
and then it goes through Sunday. Now, we've been told they would like us to arrive that Friday by 11 a.m. So, in the past 2 years, they've always worked the schedule where, like the Chicago teams don't have to play until Friday evening, so they give us
Right.
all a chance to get up there. So the word I got was now I don't know if it's specific teams or what, but our team text has said get there by about 11 a.m. So I have a feeling we're going to be playing earlier.
When do you expect the schedules to be released?
I heard that's within a week or so, within the next week, because it's really right around the corner at this point. But yeah, it's just it's and they do it fair. I mean, they have the player ratings, and they got the salary cap, but it makes it tough. It makes it tough to fill just a small roster like that. So I know some teams are going to have less than 9 runners as a result, but it's regardless, it's still fun. They've talked about putting a third rink out there so they can have even more, bigger tournament, bigger leagues, everything. So that'd be great if that happens. But yeah.
Did you
Looking
guys
forward.
know how long deck hockey has been around for?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. Well, in the 1500s, actually, the natives in North America which would later become called Canada, started playing a game similar to ice hockey. They didn't call it deck hockey at that point. But then as roads started becoming paved in the 1900s, deck hockey actually became more popularized. And that's when, youngsters would start playing in front of their houses on the streets. But hey, listen, this game has been around since the 1500s.
That wouldn't have been my guess.
I don't know, but
It's good. I hope the guys in Iowa hear that too. And
sometimes it feels like I've been around since the 1500s.
I like that you insert a little bit of trivia, Nav. I like that.
So what else do we got? That's a quick run through. I don't think I'm missing anything.
No, I think we're gonna use the last couple of minutes here just to talk about some other things. I wanted to sort of pick Sean's brain a little bit. We haven't had a chance to talk about the Pottstown tournament, and I know you're a big GC guy. I would say you're pretty well connected with management there. We know that we underperformed there. Like I think we didn't meet expectations. I think anyone coming out of that tournament that's competitive and loves the game feels like, hey, unsatisfied.
Yeah.
So from your vantage point, having had the experience playing on several teams, what do you think went wrong, and what do you think they got to address in the off season, and how soon will that be? Because I know there was some excitement coming back, and I think Frank tried to schedule some practices and stuff like that. I don't see that same level of interest that we had obviously leading up to the tournament, but that's normal. But kind of what were some of the things you think the team fell short on?
Well, I think I'll start with the positives, which I think is, I think the practices that we got in heading into the tournament were, we had some progress with that. And, Frank really took the lead on, running us through a bunch of drills and booking gyms and rinks and stuff. So I really appreciated that. I think it helped us out. I think it's kind of like any, it's a little bit akin to any type of all-star team where people just come together where they don't have a lot of, experience playing with each other. And, I'd say the lines, whether it's on offense or defense, if you haven't played with guys, if you don't, if you don't know their pros and cons, or you're at a little bit of a disadvantage because some of the teams that you're playing against have been together all year. And so I'd love to see the GC team, just get more reps together and guys playing on the same lines. But I think overall, we're making progress. I think there's always that, once again, one of the kind of the things that I've been thinking about in trying to, add value or at least open discussions about is just the push and pull between winning and participating. And is the community, are these various teams, are we focused on winning tournaments, or do we want to just get guys some playing time and have a good time? And I think there's probably a middle ground there, that I think we're kind of seeking out. But I'd love to go into more tournaments, and have more wins and have more of an impact against teams from, specifically the Northeast and some of the Canadian teams. But yeah, those are some initial thoughts.
That's great.
Well, speaking of more tournaments, I do want to mention there is a summer tournament coming up right at Palatine. I don't know a whole lot about it, but
yeah,
from what I gather, it's going to be pretty high level competition. Are either of you guys playing in that?
So I'm playing in that one. Yeah, GC's got a team that we're kind of putting together. It's I think Wade Bittner from Stingrays has taken a lot of the lead in terms of organizing. So I appreciate that from Wade. I think it's next weekend actually, or the weekend. Yeah, I think it's the last weekend in July. I'm not exactly sure how many teams he's got, and I think it's just one division. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. For my perspective on these things is I'm still in, a period where I'm just trying to get as many games in with the team as possible. I think it's as long as everybody's having fun and we're getting some exercise and stuff, that's kind of what I'm focused on.
I would agree with you. I think it's good if you guys get a team in there to start to play together more, and then maybe there's that other tournament in January that Frank runs.
Yeah.
The Legends tournament where, last year we had a really good run, GC.
Yeah.
We lost in the finals, right?
Finals. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That was where Jake Barrera scored the winning goal.
That's right.
Yeah. In overtime.
And ironically, now he's on GC.
Right. So we got 5 minutes to go in the show. We're honored here to have Sean Dennison from the Chicago ball hockey community being part of the show here. You're tuned into season 4, episode 1 of the Neutral Zone. Stomps, you probably have some closing questions for Sean, and then we can wrap it up.
Well, I mean, we've kind of covered it. What else are you looking forward to, Sean, to balance of 2023?
I think we've got a tournament coming up in Nashville, which I'm pretty excited about. So I think that's the week after Iowa. And I think Frank Klein's putting a team together there. So I'm excited about that. I guess that would be, one of the further distances that I've traveled for a deck hockey event. It sounds like there actually might be a second Nashville tournament later in the year that they're looking at. The same events company. It's called Cool Hockey Events, right? I think that's what it's called.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. So excited about Music City. And I think it's nice to have a little combination of Iowa 3-on-3 and then Nashville 5-on-5. I'm assuming Nashville's 5-on-5. I think it is.
Is that outdoor?
No, I think it's indoor.
Indoor.
I think it's indoor, yeah. And then, I did get my first experience this year in Glencoe with John Scully and his group. I was picked up by a team called the Glencoe Bazookas. I think a team that's got a rich history. So it was my first time playing with those guys. And Jordan, our captain, did a great job of bringing us all together. We had two guys on the team in particular that I'll call out, Jack Healy, who also plays with us in Palatine, and then PJ Nelson, who I haven't seen out at Palatine, but these guys are like this is D1 quality deck hockey. Just incredible players. And it was fun to just learn from those guys on that surface, because it really is a different game. But when you're playing with guys at that level, it's just a treat. especially for an older guy like me, man, it was just a treat to play with those guys. So that was a lot of fun. And obviously when you're playing, with or against John Scully, I mean, he's on a different level too. And that Deckheads team is really exciting to watch. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in Iowa.
Yeah, we're having a scrimmage / practice Sunday night at Glencoe for getting ready for Iowa.
Oh, great.
So our Bearcats team is going to square off against Ryan Canoy's team. So just to fill out our roster, I guess Scully's going to play with us. And I told Bobby D, our captain, I said, Scully potting 12 goals Sunday night is not going to help us come Iowa. But
I wouldn't bet against him to put up those numbers. That's for sure.
But I guess in closing, we talked about growing this game, and especially locally and with guys like the Snipers. I think we're going to see more of that. I think when you look at the Blackhawks and the #1 pick in Connor Bedard, that's the kind of thing that gets people excited about hockey locally. And so you probably see some kind of a spillover effect from that.
Yeah, I'm excited about Bedard this year for sure. I got myself some tickets for the upcoming year and been watching him in the World Juniors the last couple of years. So he's, man, another incredible player. We were all together. We were all together in the dressing room when they won the lottery. That was a lot of fun in Palatine.
I just keep thinking about that one goal he scored in the World Juniors.
Yeah,
he's had more points in juniors than Connor McDavid. His stats are better. So
incredible.
I think it's promising for Blackhawks fans, and I predict he'll get you at least 2 cups, Stomps.
Be nice. So, gents, we're less than a minute here.
Yeah, we're less than a minute.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
This has been an honor. This has been an honor, guys. Thank you for having me.
It's been
great.
It's been an honor for us. You're always welcome on the Neutral Zone. It's sad that it took us so long to get you on the show, but given you've only been in the community for a year and a half, there's guys that have been in the community for longer, and we'll never welcome them on the show. No, it's exciting to have you, and we look forward to seeing you continuing to have success in Palatine, not when you're playing against Stomps and I, but when you're playing other teams. Thanks again, Sean Dennison, for joining us on season 4, episode